Following the unfortunate incident that saw OceanGate's Titan sub implode on the 18th of June 2023, a transcript has emerged, supposedly revealing the minute-by-minute breakdown of the communication between the crew and the mothership. While this shocking transcript gives a detailed insight into some of the things that may have gone wrong in the final seconds before the implosion happened, it has generated quite a lot of buzz online as millions of internet users debate its authenticity. In today's video, we'll walk you through the content of this transcript as it relates to the timeline of the Titan right from the moment it descended into the Atlantic Ocean up until the second it imploded. We'll also be revealing what the experts are saying about its authenticity. So do well to watch this video till the end so you don't miss the action. Polar prints, clear for descent. Enjoy the ride. Titan, descending now. Launch sequence complete, ready. Polar prints, all clear. Titan, proceeding. Polar prints, enjoy the dive, Gemlin. Here, the Titan sub had just descended into the ocean for what was supposed to be a short voyage of between 7 to 9 hours. The Polar Prince gave the green light for Titan to continue descending while urging the 5 passengers aboard the sub to enjoy the 3,800 meters dive. Things went quiet for a while, but communication between both parties was re-established a few minutes later when the Polar Prince requested that the Titan crew provide an update on the system. Polar Prince, you're 15 minutes into the dive. Current depth. Systems check, please. Titan, systems check complete. All in order. All lights are green. We are 756 meters gone. Proceeding. Polar Prince, thank you. Proceed. 30 minutes in, update please. Titan, all systems are functioning normally. We're in good shape. Continuing our descent as planned. Polar Prince, superb. Proceed. This sequence looks very much like a routine check, and from the conversation, it's clear that the mission was going as planned. At this stage of the journey, most crew members would have settled into their awkward sitting positions and the reality of their new environment. Polar Prince, over 45-minute mark. Current depth. Confirm status. Titan, depth at 1,934. All systems stable and descent continuing as planned. Happy crew. Polar Prince, excellent. In this sequence, the mothership confirmed the time that the crew had spent underwater and requested for the current depth and the status of the system. And as you can see, the crew gave an emphatic positive response. A few minutes later, the Polar Prince initiated communication again. Polar Prince, you're at the hour mark. Titan, all is smooth sailing here. This short update was routine. The Polar Prince revealed the traveling time of the crew so far, and the Titan crew responded with the current status. Polar Prince, you are at 75 minutes, Dev. Status? Do you need to adjust velocity? Titan, all under control, at 2960. No adjustments needed. We're enjoying the ride. Polar Prince, understood. The first message of this section started exactly how we expected. The mothership provided an update about the time and made the usual request about the depth and status of the sub. Polar Prince also asked if the Titan crew needed to change their velocity, but the Titan sub played it down. Titan, we're noting an alarm from the RTM, reducing velocity descent depth 3433. Here, the Titan crew confirmed that they were reducing the velocity of the sub, but they didn't exactly say why they were doing so. This prompted the officials in the Polar Prince to ask more questions. Polar Prince, understood. Do you need to ascend? Titan, no change with thrust. The rate of descent is increasing. At 35, going to release the ballast now. Standby. Polar Prince, yes, agree. Release the ballast. Titan, no improvement. Preparing to jettison the frame. From this conversation, it was clear that something was wrong with the sub, and understandably, the Polar Prince crew offered the Titan crew a chance to ascend. Polar Prince, affirmative. Update when able. RTM indicator status. Titan, frame jettison, multiple attempts needed, but starting the ascent now. This sequence ended with some good news from the Titan crew, who confirmed that they had successfully jettisoned the frame after multiple attempts and the vessel had started to ascend. Polar Prince, multiple attempts. What is your status? RTM indicators? Depth? Update please when able. Titan, crackling sound at aft. Polar Prince, can you identify source? RTM indicator status. Titan, negative. Polar Prince, RTM status. Titan, trying to run diagnostics. Ascending now, but very slow. Sounds have subsided, Global RTM alert active, all red. Here, the Titan crew confirmed they were running diagnostics to identify the exact cause of the problems. Thankfully, the crackling sound had subsided, but the diagnostic process was very slow, and the real-time monitoring indicators were flashing red. Polar prints. Understood. Any codes? Depth. Ascent rate. Updates when able, please. Titan. Slow ascent in progress. A quarter of what was predicted. Unclear Y rate is small. No indicator. At 3476, aiming for the surface. Polar prints. We are talking it over with the engineer standby. In this sequence, the Polar Prince crew acknowledged the complaints of the Titan crew and reassured they were discussing the issues with an engineer. Polar Prince. Depth and status, please. What's the wattage on upwards thrust? Titan. Reading red on the power bus. I switched to B at 3457. More sounds aft. Polar Prince. Understood. Continue ascent. Talking to Carlos about power bus situation right now. Standby. Here, the Polar Prince team inquired about a couple of technical details. The sequence eventually ends with the Polar Prince mothership asking the Titan crew to be on standby. But little did they know that they were never going to hear from the Titan sub and its crew again. Polar Prince, we are activating recovery procedures. Carlos is requesting wattage output from bus B. Status update, please. Velocity of ascent. At this stage, the Polar Prince team imagined that the Titan sub would have ascended further towards the surface of the ocean. So they activated the recovery procedures. Polar Prince, we're not receiving you. Update, please. Status and depth report. Not satisfied with the lack of response, the Polar Prince team attempted to reach out to the Titan crew again. Polar Prince, we need you to respond with status and depth. Carlos is requesting wattage update on thrusters. We are unable to read you. We are moving to recovery coordinates. Report if you read. Polar Prince, please respond if you're able.
The Coast Guard confirming wreckage found near the Titanic indicates the 5 people on board the Titan sub perished when the tourist vessel suffered a catastrophic implosion.
For the second time in 7 minutes, there was no response from the Titan crew. At this point, the Polar Prince team feared that the worst could have happened. And perhaps this was when they reached out to the Coast Guard for help. Within a few hours, a joint search and rescue team consisting of special teams from different countries. But it was too late. Investigation is still ongoing to determine the exact cause of this tragic implosion. But the conversations between the Polar Prince and the Titan crew as seen in the transcript raises some questions. In fact, Park Stephenson, a Titanic explorer, says he initially believed the widespread transcript but later found that it was inconsistent. Stephenson went on to label the transcript a cruel and cynical fantasy. But until the official investigation is completed, Stephenson's comments and the authenticity of the transcript itself will remain open to debate. Thanks for watching this video to the end. If you've enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to Magnifying Space to watch more interesting videos like one.